You look really upset, man. I know they lost, but they just won 4 straight. What's up? You know, I put a lot of time and effort into the designs for the James Reimer statue, and now we can't do anything with it.
You ready? Big news. What? Whoa, seriously?
No pigs yet.
What? What was he doing? Wow.
Bring them on.
Beautiful.
Before we start, do you mind if we see the design? Alright, fine. Can we post a picture on this? Wow. I know, right? Check out the detail in the mask. Yeah, and is his stick? Yeah, it's the CN Tower. Interesting. Leafs lose 5-1 to the Phoenix Coyotes. Barely going to talk about the goals because there's so much else that's happened. Mike Brown's hit, Korpikoski's kick, the Ron Wilson debacle, and Brunstrom is now a Leaf. First off, in the first period, there were 6 minor penalties handed out to both teams. The Leafs had both of theirs handed out in the first 2 minutes. Generally, that's bad. And Phoenix, despite getting outshot 12-4 in the first period, scores on the power play. Radim Verbata, his 9th of the season, 1-0 Coyotes. So Ilya Bryzgalov stopping all 12 shots he faces in the first. James Reimer only facing 4 shots, but he lets in a goal. Well, this is the part where the Leafs offense repay Reimer for all the help he's given them lately, right? Nope. They follow up the first period by getting outshot 8-5 by the Coyotes in the second. Neither team scores, but we can't really glaze over the second now, can we? First, Mike Brown drills Ed Jovanovski, and Jovo Cop has trouble getting back up. Now, the hit was early because the puck was coming to Jovanovski, but he didn't have it. And Jovanovski got nailed right in the head. No penalty called on the play, but there's a question for you guys. Will Mike Brown get suspended? I'm not really 100% sure. I definitely think he'll get a talking to, but if he does get suspended, he's not going to get more than what Doan got, which was 3 games. But now let's move on to something that I think should absolutely be suspended. A scrum ensues shortly after the Jovanovski hit because both teams are awful grumpy at this point. Clark MacArthur drops the gloves and takes Lauri Korpikoski down to the ice. Korpikoski brings his skate up, and just when you think it's an accident, kicks MacArthur in the head. Remember when Phaneuf was out for over a month when he got cut by a skate accidentally in the leg? Well, this kick was intentional to the flippin' head. Now, nothing happened. MacArthur's fine. And a lot of suspensions around the league seem to be based on whether or not a player got hurt while MacArthur didn't. But MacArthur was leaning down. If he had pulled up, I don't even want to think about it. And Mike Brown shouldn't have done what he did, but if Korpikoski doesn't get at least a few games for this, that's a joke. You don't kick a guy with skates on anywhere on his body, let alone the head, at any time, any place, for any reason, said the coach to a bunch of 5-year-olds. So why does an NHLer need to be reminded of that? Wow, this is getting intense. You want to just talk about the game? Go draw a picture. So in the third period, the Coyotes really go to work. Shane Doan scoring a power play goal with big ol' Martin Hansel screening Reimer. It's 2-0. Pyatt and Korpikoski both score their 11th of the season to make it 3 and 4-0, exposing James Reimer's glove side. It's funny because Korpikoski scores the 4-0 goal when really he should have got a match penalty in a 1-0 game. Not that I really blame the refs for missing it. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on the ice at the time. Colby Armstrong scores to at least end Bryzgalov's shutout bid, assisted by Mike Brown, another guy still in the game, and Daryl Boyce. Boyce another off night in the face-off department, but now he has 5 points in 8 games. And finally, Keith Yandle scoring the 5-1 goal, empty netter to win the game 5-1 for the Coyotes. Heading into that game, Keith Yandle was one of just 4 NHL defensemen to lead their team in scoring. The others, Bufflin in Atlanta, Whitney in Edmonton, and Weber in Nashville. So to wrap this game up so we can move on and talk about other stuff, should Mike Brown be suspended, and if so, what should he get? And should Korpikoski be suspended, and if so, what should he get? Now, I want to talk about this money on the board scandal just a little bit. Basically, what's been reported is that Ron Wilson put up a $600 bounty for whoever scored the game-winning goal against San Jose. And the NHL says, no, cap circumvention. It seems that most NHLers, non-Leafs, that have been asked about this kind of joked about it like, oh, we've never done that, but they have. My opinion is very simple. Really? So that's that. And lastly, the Leafs acquire Fabian Brunstrom for Mikhail Stefanovic. It's a fine trade. Dallas gets to dump a little bit of salary in Brunstrom, and they get back a prospect in Stefanovic. Unfortunately, Stefanovic didn't quite crack the Marlies roster this year and was playing in Russia. So in exchange for taking on a little bit of salary, the Leafs get a player who has played in the NHL and will play in the organization this year. 17 goals a couple years ago. It'll be interesting to see if Brunstrom can get it back, because this is the news story that everyone in Toronto wanted to hear 2 years ago. And if Brunstrom stays in the AHL and some of the other players get a little healthier, man, the Marlies are looking good. All in all, pretty simple trade and decent for both parties, but I think there's more to come. It's just in the air, you know? There's another question. What do you think those things will be? You can tell me your answer on leafspace.com. A lot of discussion going on there. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter at Steve_Dangle. Check out stevedangle.com, and I'll see you next time as the Leafs return home finally to take on the Flames. Hey, check it out. I drew a picture of you.